Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be. My name is Arcata, and welcome to the Mailbag Showdown for the week of August 1st, 2013, answering questions, comments, and giving opinions on the world of anime and Western otakus in general. If you would like to send in an email, you can at mailbagshowdown@glassreflection.net. And without further ado, let's get started. This rather long question comes in from Philip, and he says, recently, I was watching Bennett the Sage's two-part review of Macross Plus. At the conclusion of the review, he mentioned how he felt of the current anime scene and said something that really rubbed me the wrong way. The quote is as follows. We are fans of an art form, and through our contributions and our devotions, this art form has reached an apex that saw the likes of Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell, Princess Mononoke, and yes, Macross Plus. Today, the flag bearers of quality are Steins Gate, Death Note, Baccano, and Summer Wars. Fine works, all of them. Do not misunderstand me. But do they belong in the same company as the former? Bennett is a fine reviewer, but this quote and the context around it kind of pissed me off, and I wasn't sure why. It could be that when Bennett says the current titles, there was a great deal of contempt in his voice, even though he follows it with a compliment. Or it could be the simple fact that I truly did not agree with Bennett's sentiment. This comment made me think, not so much on whether new anime are as good or better than old anime, as that is entirely subjective, but about fan attitude. What I find unsettling is how certain fans of a medium hold certain works above others, while at the same time almost completely disregarding the works of present day. I was no different. I used to hold older films in a much higher regard than modern works, but I'm slowly realizing that not only are modern works of art deserving of the praise they achieve, they deserve to stand as equals of the works of long ago. What do you and your colleagues think? Should modern works of stellar Japanese animation be counted among the upper echelon of the medium, or have the artists of today fallen short of the standards set by their predecessors? And most importantly of all, should fans hold to the idea that nothing new could even begin to top the classic works of the medium? I hope this sparks as much contemplation as it has in me. Okay, so this is a rather meaty question, and though you asked what my colleagues think, and I assume you mean the wonderful people over on Podtaku, I'm not going to be speaking for them, and you can feel free to ask them individually if you so feel like it at any given time. Now, while I have nothing against Sage, that particular quote really does indeed strike a chord with me. To say that a show like Baccano does not belong side by side with something like Bebop is akin to saying that, like, Ferris Bueller's Day Off does not belong alongside Citizen Kane. It's something that I don't really agree with. You're right that there do exist a group of people who believe that the older, more seasoned shows can never be topped. And they usually are in leagues with the people who believe that traditional animation using cells is the only true animation, with everything now from the digital era being only a cheap shadow of what it once used to be. But what Sage seems to be arguing is that these works from multiple generations should be compared. And I don't know if I fully agree with that, because all these shows come from different genres and different eras of filmmaking and animation, so to put them side by side in a lot of ways would be rather unfair. The newer works can't compare with the major nostalgia factor and appreciation for the older works, and the older anime can't compare with the quality and production value that's achievable today. Now, in my humble opinion, and which I don't expect everybody to agree with, is that these comparisons should never happen. It's one of the reasons why I avoided having a numerical score in my reviews for so long, because comparisons are inevitable. But the more that we compare, the more that fans begin to cement that older works like Bebop and Ghost in the Shell can never be quote-unquote beaten, the worse off I think we're gonna end up being, because it's all rather sad, as then we would continue to watch new shows with the knowledge that it'll never get better, that the limit has been reached, that we have already seen the best. So why bother continuing to watch? It's not the sort of attitude that I want to have. But again, this is all personal opinions from what Sage believes and what I believe, and of course what this commenter believes. And usually it all comes down to personal preference. If you're one of the people that don't think that the old classic anime can ever be beat, then that's your business. But it doesn't mean that I have to necessarily agree with it. And so that's me done for this week. If you would like to send in an email, please be sure to check out my FAQ video, if you have not already, to make sure that I have not already answered what you may want to ask. And after that, feel free to send me a message at mailbagshowdown@glassreflection.net, and I will get to your email when I have the time, with the best of them being used for the show. Please subscribe for more videos and weekly anime reviews. And you can also follow me on Twitter @glassreflection if you feel so inclined. And until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and others, stay frosty.